nerf this.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Corey. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the notification bell. That way you get notified when I got new videos coming out almost every day. Also, check out the details of my videos when you get a chance. I've got a lot of good resources for you in there. I got a link to my Discord server if you want to hang out with me. I got links to WHF's recruiting Discord server if you're interested in joining the WHF family. I've also got links to WHF's live streamers. If you want to see some of the WHF wars going down live, go ahead and give them a follow and you'll get notified when they're streaming those. So with that, let's get into this video. This one was requested, and as soon as I got the request, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's all right, so I'm getting excited here. I'm really excited. So this is all about cleaning up a hit, looking at small details that you can fix on a really close attack to go ahead and get the triple on that second try. So with that, we're going to get right into this one. Super close attack by Sunshine. Going to be a 99%, I guess, a fail here. Super close. And let's go ahead and see what he's got going on. He's got a queen charge hog attack going into this. Using a baby dragon over on that right-hand side. I believe this was a fresh hit, so he's going to go ahead and call an audible. Since that Tesla popped up and kind of threatens to draw the queen over further to the right, he's going to send a couple hogs in there while it's being tanked by that baby dragon. Go ahead and make sure he gets that Tesla taken out. And that's going to be just enough to ensure that that queen walks to the left, not to the right. So he also had some minions up there and a bowler, just because there's a lot of trash on that side, and it's already a pretty long walk. We're already 35 seconds in, and hasn't even really come close to entering the base yet. So it is a long walk. So use some troops over there to kind of get through those buildings a little bit faster. Now he's got the king coming down. Timed the king really well, I thought, too. Really get rid of the rest of those buildings, and the queen's still going to step up right where she needs to be. So now we're going to come in basically on these hits. When you're watching these replays, these close attacks, you want to identify things that did not get that much value. And on this one right here, let's pause it. If you saw what just happened right there, he dropped the rage spell. Didn't really need it for the queen quite yet, but it was supposed to kind of do double duty and get that wall break in there. There was a wizard tower right there. Unfortunately, he forgot to run a test wall breaker through there, so all four of his original wall breakers died right there. So that rage didn't get much value there, and the wall breakers, let's see, two more coming in. They kind of missed that rage. Only one of them went off. So far we've got a rage with really no value and 6 wall breakers with really no value either. So now we got the second rage. We got some good value out of that. Getting that enemy queen killed down, killing the enemy CC. That was all definitely needed. He's going to try and sneak in his last wall breaker in this rage to get that second layer wall break. Unfortunately, that wall breaker is not going to go either. So right there, you can see out of that attack, it's a really nice walk. It gets in where it needs to go. But if we can get more value out of that rage and get more value out of those wall breakers, we're going to have a lot more successful attack. If you look what's left here, we don't really have a path carved out for those hogs yet. But he's over a minute 30. He knows he's, at about a minute 30 on queen charge hog attacks and queen charge Lalo attacks. At a minute 30, you want to get your troops down. Otherwise, you're really risking a time fail. So he doesn't really have as much of a path carved out as he'd hoped when he starts the hogs, so that's going to cause it to fall a little bit short. She does reach over and get that wizard tower, but she's not going to be able to reach those expos. I really like this back end wall wrecker right there. It came in and took out a bomb tower before the hogs ever even got there. Also going to tank that enemy king for a while. Every shot the king takes on that thing is a shot that he's not following around hogs hitting on them, so very nice. Now he did run out of defenses over there, so he does pop it out, get those max hogs in there. And really good choice there. There was really no other value or tanking those were going to do other than, maybe the king. Definitely more value out of max hogs taking out these defenses at that point. So with that, we're going to speed it up a little bit. You're going to see, I told you got a 99%. It was super freaking close. And then we're going to take a look at Johnny Boy's cleanup attack on the same base. So look through the replays and find things that didn't get that much value and think of a way that you can improve it and get more value out of them. And you're going to be able to turn these really close hits, these 97s, 98s, 99s, into an easy triple. So, all right. Now let's check out Johnny Boy's fix on this. Now the charge is largely the same. Doesn't really Doesn't really change anything there, I don't believe. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that part of it, just to save time. It's kind of a long walk. Going to bring in those same 2 hogs, get rid of that Tesla. Same minion, same bowler, kind of getting rid of some of that trash ahead of time. Now we're getting into the money section here where he's going to make some changes. So we'll go back down to 1 speed. Has that king in there. Has a test wall breaker in, and the test wall breaker actually missed that thing, but his queen got in there and hit that little bomb there. So he gets that first wall break down. Gets that rage down, and mind you, he's only used 1 rage at this point. Sunshine had already used 2 at this point, so he's still got another one. Look at that. Okay, look at that. That was beautiful. He knew the Expos and that Wizard Tower were going to give him a really hard time on that second wall break. He knew that from watching Sunshine's hit. So he brings a freeze. Instead of his second poison, so he freezes at least the Wizard Tower there. And so he's able to get in that second wall break. Gets like 5 wall breakers in there through the rage. Gets it done. Beautiful adjustment there. And now that he's got that second layer wall break, his queen's going to go in there and she's going to be able to take out those Expos. Mind you, he's only using a second rage now, so she's still got her ability too. And just like that, with those Expos gone, look how much this pathing has changed for these hogs. You know, first of all, it's 2 more Expos they don't have to deal with, but it's also potential trap locations they don't have to go across when they're dealing with those Expos. So every time you can take out additional defenses in the core of a base, it's gonna make it a lot easier on either your hogs or your Lalo on the back end, just by improving that pathing. Now he's got a healer swap to the hogs. That's pretty fortunate, but honestly, he was on a good track before that even happened. Once again, he has that wrecker in at the same spot. You know, Sunshine had great wrecker value on that one. No reason to change anything there. So Queen still has her ability too, so that's really nice. He's still got that in his pocket. If she runs up against that enemy king or some high hit point defenses, she can still pop her ability and get that stuff taken care of. Heals are pretty much exactly the same. Sunshine's heals were money, you know what I mean? Almost got it done, even though his queen charge didn't get as much value. So it doesn't have to change anything there. Now, I'll say this about the Skelly traps. Most of this base, there was only 1 Skelly trap chasing him, and that's not that big a threat. The place that the second Skelly trap pops up is at the very end, right there where the hogs are ending. And Skelly traps are not going to do as much damage to your hogs at the end, just because, you know, by that time they're taking out the rest of the defenses, they're turning around and they're killing the Skellies. So if you're encountering Skelly traps along the end of your hog pathing, not as big of a threat. So that's why he was able to drop that poison in favor of a freeze to get that second wall break. So beautiful adjustment there. And just clean up at this point. It's a triple. So, excellent cleanup hit by Johnny Boy. Love the freeze, you know what I mean? And thanks to the info from the first attack, he was able to play his rages a little smarter and had a little more info on getting those wall breaks in as well. So, beautiful adjustments, pretty small adjustments, but made a big difference on the attack. And that's the name of the game when you're doing cleanup hits. So, now we're going to take a look at Ballin's hit on number 11. Let me find Ballin here. Where are you at, Ballin? There we go. All right. Replay number 1. So somebody already hit this base, and it is a Hound CC. So Ballin's like, all right, cool. I'm going to come in and Queen Walk Miner it. Almost gets it, too. He sees this side over here with no air defenses. Some high damage defenses, though. So he decides to run a Queen Walk down that side with 4 healers, because that is a lot of damage coming in over there. All right, King down the other side, using a bowler to get a bowler bounce to kind of cut in that funnel for the King. And then just bringing the wrecker with the miners behind it up the middle. I'm going to go ahead and ×2 this a little bit. So, has to use his queen ability a little bit early. If he would have brought in the miners a little sooner behind the queen, maybe even would have started the king first, then the queen, and then the miners, and he might not have had to burn that ability so early. That being said, you know, he gets the loon poison. That all goes really good. His queen's going to run into some trouble over here because she's going to step in range of this single without her ability, so she is going to get fried. And we're times for it here. Gets really close, just not quite enough to get it done. So I thought miners would definitely still be a good option for it. I just thought it maybe needed a little bit different approach. So here, let's go out of that, and we're going to take a look at, I actually cleaned this one up. 11. Here we go. So I'll show you what I changed. First of all, I didn't like the fact that you had to use 4 healers to get through this whole side, and she was still going to get fried at the end by that single target Inferno. Didn't seem like quite enough value. If I'm going to do a Queen Walk on a minor hit with that many healers, she better stay alive the whole raid, and I didn't like the chances there. So another thing that I wasn't wild about was minoring from this really wide side right here. If you're spreading out your miners more, you're spreading out their path, you kind of limit their effectiveness a little bit. They're going to move through slower, they're going to take more damage. So if you can hit from a narrower side or a narrower path, then, you know what I mean, it keeps them more concentrated, it makes spell drops easier, and just keeps them more effective that way. So now I also looked at the fact that they had all the wizard towers on this side of the base, and I decided, man, I'd really like to figure out a way to come in on that side of the base. That way I take care of most of that splash damage early, and then on the backside I don't have to worry about that much. The only thing even remotely on the backside splash damage is like this bomb tower, and it's not even on the back. So I decided to drop the healers altogether because I wasn't convinced I was going to get enough value for them. You know, even coming down this side over here, I couldn't really come down this side because then she would have locked onto the Hound. Plus there's a single on this side too. So I just dropped the healers altogether. I brought all miners and went ahead and brought 5 heals. You know, a lot of people like to use a rage too. In some bases I will use a rage. I just wasn't seeing enough compact high hit points to make me want to bring a rage instead of an extra heal. You know, if you got a section that's just like expos and storages and CC, you know, yeah, by all means bring that rage. Another thing I liked on this was that I was able to bring this wall wrecker in at an angle and tank these first 2 wizard towers on the way in there. So I really like that as well. Now you notice my queen's got a lot of health even though she doesn't have a lot of healers, because basically I try to get my miners down really close behind my queen so she has just enough time to cut in the funnel but not enough time to take a lot of fire from the defenses. So if you can do that, your queen can live, you know, a really long time even without any healers on these mass miner raids. Oh, sorry for coughing. Lungs are still healing up from pneumonia. Unfortunately, she gets locked on by that single target Inferno, and I totally miss her abilities, so she's dead, but she did some really good work down that side before she died. So I did decide to bring a second poison on this, and I'll tell you why. Mostly because I'm a sissy, and I'm always paranoid I'm going to miss that frickin' loon on that first poison. I never do, but I'm always a little paranoid I did. And I noticed I had some ground skellies too, so I was like, well, you know, if I don't miss the loon, at least I have a poison for some ground skellies as well, so wouldn't get wasted. But as it worked out, I didn't really see any ground skellies, you know, towards the back end of the base where they weren't healed, so I didn't have an opportunity to use it, which is fine. Just ended up dropping on the clan castle there. But you're going to see, with the adjustments I made, we got plenty of miners left over to finish up this base. Even with missing the queen's ability, you know, just changed up the approach a little bit and got it done. So now we're going to take a look at something a little bit different. So we've looked at a 99%, we looked at a 97%, 2 really close attacks, just some small adjustments that had to be made to turn those into triples. Now we're going to look at a 90% and somebody that took a different approach on it altogether. We're going to look at why. We're going to look at Alpha T's hit on number 20. Because, you know, the exact same approach, not always the best approach. So this is a really high percentage attack on this base. We're going to kind of speed through it a little bit though. So he gets the blimp in there, but you're going to notice his blimp had to fight a sweeper. And anytime your blimp is fighting a sweeper, you don't really know what kind of value you're going to get. So he doesn't get that much value right there. Once again, on the Sui Hero, they kind of got locked onto by that single, so he didn't get that much value from that either. So he goes and brings in the Lalo. You know, really pretty nice Lalo on the base considering, but look at this right here. This bomb tower in the middle never gets targeted by those loons, so he tries to get a skelly kill down, but that bomb tower just keeps killing those skellies, so he's not going to get this queen kill, and that's really going to hurt him for the rest of this raid. So queen's still alive. You know, he probably had the loons and spells to probably get it done if that queen wasn't there, really close to it at least. If you had got that queen kill, probably would have been okay. But the problem is it's really tough to path loons into that thing in time to get that queen kill. So with you know, not as much blimp value from that sweeper, and then maybe not as much Sui value as you'd like either. Combine that with a difficult queen kill, and Trevor's gonna, you know, I'll tell you, you could have fixed this. Somebody could have fixed this, I'm sure, and got it. But does that mean it's the best option? It's a tier 1, doesn't have that high level defenses. It was obviously a challenging Lalo, otherwise I guarantee Alpha T would have smashed it. So Trevor says, instead of trying this Lalo that's obviously a little bit, little bit more challenging than it needs to be. I'm just going to mass minor this base because it's a freaking tier 1. It has a Hound CC. It doesn't have any crazy fissures or separations that are going to make it a challenge for miners, so miner should just crush it, and that's what he goes ahead and does. So even if you got a fairly close attack, if you're seeing some stuff in there that you really don't like, some stuff that you're not sure how to overcome, don't be afraid to use a different approach. You know, if it calls for it. But come on, if they're getting like 97, 98, 99%, you don't want to hit it with some completely different attack and fail on it. You know what I mean? Make small adjustments to those plans. But if you're seeing something like this where you're definitely seeing some stuff you don't like, sometimes taking an easier and better approach is called for. So, and we'll go ahead and speed through this. Just a mass minor hit. It's going to crush it. No problem. And unfortunately, his queen even locks onto the Hound. Locks onto the Hound. Pops the freaking Hound. Trevor's smart. He brought a second poison too, just in case. And, you know, even with all that going on, the mass miners are still going to crush it because it's a tier 1. And, you know, just not enough base there to stop mass miners with a lot of low CC. So, going to even have a few surviving lava pups come out and chase his miners around. Still going to get it anyways because, you know, he picked a good and simple attack to get this base cleaned up. So, times for it, but he definitely gets it done, even with the unfortunate situation of having the Hound. You know, he brought in his Wrecker on this side, brought in miners, and for some reason that Hound just shot right up to the miners right next to his queen. But still gets it done. So, hope you guys liked the video. I tried to choose some that were really close and just needed some small adjustments to their approach, and then show you that sometimes taking a different approach is warranted as well. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Nerf this!